right, welcome back to Self-Determination. I'm OBDK Kamau. I'm joined in the studio by Sister Nikisha Sanders. And I'm going to be talking to her real quickly, but we owe someone else congratulations on graduating, Sister Nikisha, because you are finishing the illustrious institution of Texas Southern University Saturday morning at 9:30.
I sure am.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
That's great. And I kind of feel like you are a self-determination crew person, too. So congratulations.
Definitely.
All right, I tell you what, let's get Dr.Afrika on the air. We're not going to be able to speak with him a long time. I do want you to talk about the program that's coming on. You are always making an effort to deliver information to the black community in particular, but the general Houston community in general. You're trying to deliver information on health care and optimum health, and Dr.Afrika has come in an effort to, I guess, to deliver that information and the practice of diagnostics, all the things he's capable of doing. So, Dr.Afrika, first of all, I want to thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Really, my pleasure.
Okay, very good. Sister Nikisha, I want you to talk about the program that's coming up, how people can get an opportunity to speak with Dr.Afrika. Then I'm going to ask him a question and open the phone up for a few minutes. The number here is 713-526-5738 for anyone who has a question that they would like to ask Dr.Afrika, and we're going to try to use this limited time as efficiently as possible.
Okay, so I'm going to get this going as quickly as possible. Again, this is Nikisha Sanders, and I'm with Rootworks International. And Rootworks International is bringing Dr.Llaila here to Houston, May the 27th and the 28th, 2006, July the 1st and the 2nd, and July the 22nd and the 23rd. These are 3 weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and the classes will range from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. This course is a holistic health consultant certification. And once again, if you have any questions, you can email me at rootworks, that's with an S, works with an S, international @yahoo.com. And my number is 1-866-338-9609. Again, that's 1-866-338-9609. And I was fortunate enough to go through Dr.Afrika's course in Jersey, fall of 2004, and I have to say it was the most powerful experience that I've ever had when it came to me taking my own health into my own hands. And usually when people think of health, they think of physical health, but Dr.Afrika is definitely a well-rounded individual, and he deals with mind, body, and spirit.
So it's a holistic.
Yes, holistic. It's African holistic health, to be specific, yeah.
All right. Dr.Afrika, what will individuals who attend this certification course learn?
Well, they'll learn how to diagnose themselves, of course, and others through an examination of the acupuncture meridians and the eyes and the tongue and the hair and the fingernails and the face and the posture, and also learn some biochemical tests they can run on urine and saliva that also will help pinpoint the area that's being struck by the illness. So they'll learn those basic diagnostic techniques that they can apply to others and assess people's health. If they want to get into it professionally, they send a certificate off to Washington, D.C. and get a license as a naturopath. If they want to get into it as a professional, they can do that for the certification.
What can they call themselves after completing this course and sending the certificate to D.C.? What can they call
themselves? Well, they'll be licensed as a naturopath.
Okay.
They can call themselves a naturopath or a nutritional counselor or a health consultant. Those are various social terms that people use so the community will know what they're talking about, because most people don't know what a naturopath is.
What is a naturopath?
That's a person that uses non-invasive therapies, no cutting, no drugs. Herbs, vitamins, minerals, massage, nothing that will harm the body used.
So this course has to be very intense. What are there, 6 sessions, 8 sessions?
It's 6 sections.
6 sessions?
Yes.
And there are assignments, I would imagine, that people have to do after they've left the sessions?
Yes, there are assignments. You have to complete a certain amount of assessments, and which will be used as practice for the course. And, of course, you have work materials that you will be responsible for. So it's quite intense.
Dr. Afrika, I would like to ask you a question, and it's something I guess that's begun to worry me. The health of black women, if one is to believe what you hear in the news, appears to be getting worse. I'd like to know if that's true. One of the things that they say our women are particularly having problems with is obesity. I'd like to know if black women's health is getting worse, and I'd also like to know if it is, what does it mean to a race of people, a group of people whose women are hurting physically, and I would imagine it has to be holistically. It will have to be some spiritual and emotional and mental issues involved as well.
Well, the health of black women in the world, not just America, is worst of all races. And then our children's health is worst of all children in the world. So we have an epidemic of where we are looking at some sort of decrease in numbers and maybe verging on extinction if we don't do something soon. And the thing is that the market is designed to prey upon black women, and they spend the most money on cosmetics and on CDs and on movies. So if you make them dysfunctional, you can pretty much guarantee yourself an income. And the Koreans know that as well as anybody with their little plastic nails. They just make them dysfunctional and not proud of themselves because they can't look like Halle Berry or something, and then they'll start buying their merchandise. It's called remasking in advertisement. You stimulate the self-hatred of a race, and then they buy the product.
What does that mean to us as a people if our women's health is getting worse?
Well, it just means that we're going to have a lot of dysfunctional children, which means we're going to have some more dysfunctional girls and boys. As the ladies are dysfunctional, they're raising the boys and the girls, so the boys and the girls will be dysfunctional, and they'll have dysfunctional relationships and ultimately destroy themselves. And that's probably not a good analysis because it's based on how much money they can make off our destruction. See, everything has to translate to money in a capitalist society. So if you're a crack addict, you're making money for somebody. So if you're dysfunctional, you're making money for somebody. You can't look at it as a negative thing. It's a profit-making industry to make us dysfunctional. Everybody makes money. Ask the Koreans selling the plastic nails.
Isn't that also the reason that I notice in the hood we have beautiful new drugstores all over the place? We can't get a decent grocery store in most parts of the hood. Can't get other businesses, but they can put the biggest, nicest drugstores because it's like they know we're going to need plenty of drugs.
Yeah, we have to drug ourselves through the day to make it through the day. There's going to be legal drugs such as coffee, caffeine, nicotine, or Robitussin. It's going to be illegal drugs. We're going to narcotize ourselves to get under this oppression because we're trying to escape it through the drugs and escape it through sex. And sex is an addiction in our community as well. So we're using all these mechanisms to escape our oppression instead of confronting it directly. Health got us into slavery. They would not take most of these black folks today and put them in slavery because they're too sick. Health got us in this condition, and health is going to ultimately get us out of this condition. So we have to return back to those natural foods and herbs we once used to restore our health. But it's a thing that sometimes we overlook as brainwashing, or what people call social engineering. And the way they used to do it is by depriving a person of sleep. And once you deprive them of sleep, you can very easily program them to do whatever you want them to do. That's a basic brainwashing technique. And the people that suffer from the most sleep deprivation in our community are the children. So if you keep a 7 or 8-year-old child up to 10 o'clock, and then put BET in front of them, you've successfully brainwashed them.
You know, the other day, Akua and I were the guests on a show that comes out of L.A. It's called WWWLIB Radio, and the host of that show, Brother Kidi Owadu, is very concerned about the impact that abortion is having on our community. I had done a show on abortion probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, and the numbers that are coming out is that over the past approximately 30 years that black people, black women have aborted between 17 and 18 million children. Are you familiar with that fact?
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar that black men and women.
Right. I said us. We do this together often. I'm not trying to point the finger at anybody.
Yes, I'm aware of that. That's because of the oppression. We were aborting children, killing children on slave ships and in cotton fields. This is nothing new. It's just we have a nice way of tracking it. But we were on slave ships doing the same thing, aborting and killing our children. And we continue that same abortion process today. Nothing has changed. We're just using a different language, but this process was set in motion long before the statistics came about.
Okay, we're going to go to the phone. We have someone who wants to ask you a question. The number here, we have about 10 more minutes. If you want to talk with Dr. Llaila, is 713-526-5738. Mark, you're on the air with Dr.Afrika.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, and you? It's good to hear from you.
Good, man. Yeah, you know, what you're saying about, like, grocery stores and drugstores, man, that's a part of the culture today, you know? I mean, I don't live in, like, a nice place. It ain't quite the ghetto, but, you know, it's A-lease, man. It ain't real nice. But I got to drive by 4 drugstores to get to one grocery store. It's just all about selling us drugs, man. They want everybody on drugs. I don't care where you live or what you do. They know you're going to need 4 times as many drugs as you're going to need groceries, you know, and that's...
Can't afford groceries after buying the drugs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, especially if you ain't got the right insurance, you know. I mean, you can't afford your groceries. But I think that's part of the whole culture, you know. It's even that way in nicer neighborhoods, man. There's more drugstores than grocery stores because they're just trying to sell everybody drugs.
Thanks for calling, Mark.
All righty, man.
All right. Dr.Afrika, is that in fact, is that just cultural-wide? Is there an effort particularly to aim at black communities, or is this, you know, this drug industry targeting the entire American population?
Well, that's American population. I'm not concerned with the American population. I'm not concerned with the American Indians. I'm not concerned with white people. I'm concerned with black people. And we are being oppressed, and oppression causes us to use more drugs. Oppression causes us to have more abortion. Oppression causes us to have the highest dropout rate. Oppression causes that. That's what's the cause of it. And I'm not eliminating what happens to white folks. They have a choice. Their skin color gives them a choice, gives them preferential treatment. White domination allows them to have preferential treatment in this world. That's what the whole civil rights movement was about. So I'm talking about oppression is causing us to eat more junk food, causing our children to drink more sodas, causing our children to be in front of TV and staying up late at night. 9 and 10 o'clock, you can call people's houses, and 8 and 9-year-old children are up. That's sleep deprivation. If you put BET or some rap music video in front of them, it's going to brainwash them. That's how brainwashing is done, by sleep deprivation.
And I guess because this is the assertions that you're making, the charges you're making are very, very serious, and they also would appear to be very true. How should the black community deal? Do we realize what we are doing to ourselves?
I've been talking about the children. Most of these Negroes we can't save. So I'm not even going there. I'm just talking about the children.
I agree. I came to that conclusion myself.
But we gotta,
I came to that conclusion myself. I moved into a neighborhood and tried to make a difference, and one day, you know, someone said, "Oh, you're working in your yard. Somebody could just drive by and shoot you." And I said, "You know what? You're right. Why am I trying to change these grown people who have choices to make? And that's when I regroup myself and start working toward helping children.
Yeah.
We're going to go